The GitHub Copilot app is changing how I work with agents every single day. And I'm still using tons of tools, VS Code, the CLI, and Visual Studio 2026 when I need to do deep debugging and profiling of my .NET applications. But there is a hidden feature in the Copilot app, and it is a complete game changer when working with agents, your backlog, PRs, actions, agent sessions, anything really. And it is canvases. You may have seen a sneak peek, but I'm going to dive in deep and how I've evolved, how I develop every single day, leveraging canvases. So let's get into it. I think the best way to understand how a canvas works is to actually build a canvas. So let's just start right there. So I'm going to go into a new session and say /create canvas.
Let's create a canvas that allows me to do a little bit of issue triage and specifically assign weights to all of the issues for the current repo that I'm in. I want to see detailed information that's coming from those issues, and then I want to assign these weights and then stack rank them by weights as far as how much effort is going to be put into them. Okay, so I'm going to send that off to the agent, and it's going to get to work building my canvas for me. And then we're just going to let it cook. Okay, perfect. It looks like we have our full issue triage here. So I can go ahead and open this up. Well, this is really neat. So I can go ahead and tap on one of these. I can get more detailed information about it, open it on GitHub, and then I could go ahead and give it like a score. So I could say, urgency here on this one is a 2, effort's going to be 1, and save it. And this just kind of saves it locally for me. So I can go ahead and do this. Now I could go ahead and say, save it, and then update the issue. Go ahead and leave a comment back, maybe have a little detailed information here for it. And now I have all of this right here, ready to go, diving through this information. I can tell it to do anything, right? So here's just rendering and showing the markdown, but I could say render the markdown, right? And I give it more verbose information. But just literally in a few minutes, I've created an entire issue triager for me for this project. I can have these canvases unique for every single project, how my team works, how I work, and how I want to work with issues, with PRs, writing comments, doing anything. And you can create them all in minutes and share them with your team, or create them for yourself, or share them with the world. It's really neat to see these canvases come to life and help you manage your backlog, but do unique, fun things.
Okay, this is a pretty cool example because I've actually been working on my own sort of hub where I can get a complete overview of all of the projects that I've been working on and help me triage even further. So let me go ahead and show you what I've been cooking up personally.
So over here, I've created something called the James Hub. And the James Hub, let me make it a little bit bigger here, is something that I created, and I have a generic sort of hub too that's out there. And this allows me to do things like tracks very specific repos, and I can see the work here of open PRs or open issues, things that were human authored, maybe stale releases or failed deployments that I could look at. I can search for specific repos, and I'm just looking at the sort of dashboard, sort of the main hub here of all the repos that I care about right now. I have 540 some odd repos. I don't care about all of them. I care about the ones that I'm actively working on. What I love about this is as I'm diving through, I've made it so I can see the open issues that I have, or click on the details here, get information about the deployments, about the releases. I can tap on an issue here. I can act on it. I could go in, review it. I can see that, I have a plan mode here. I could implement it. I could refine the spec, assign it to a cloud session, or just write a comment on it. So I don't even have to leave the GitHub Copilot app to do any of that. So let's say I refine the spec. Once I tap on that, what this is going to do is it's going to send off a message, and it's going to say open a new session specifically to refine this. So it says don't implement code, just do these things. So this is this two-way. I basically programmed the canvas to be able to communicate and spin up new sessions. So we see it spin up right here. So it's going to get to work, has a session ID, and it's going to do spec refinement. So I can just get back to work as that is refining. Now here I can also go through, I can look at this focus plan, which I really, really like. The focus plan allows me to say I'm in a really creative mood. I only have maybe 2 hours today, and I want to focus on new code. So I have all these different options here. And what this will do is it'll give me information specifically about things I can work on. So here there's this new aspect ratio, some alignment controls, resize handles. I can tap on one of those, and just like I did before, I could plan it out, implement it, or assign it to a cloud agent. So this is a great way where I'm looking at this, like, you know what? Yeah, this is really, really cool. Maybe I'll just, assign that to a cloud agent and it's going to get to work right away for me. And then come back, after I eat breakfast or something like that. So this is like how I've sort of created my hub. And I was really inspired by this interview with Scott Hanselman showing off how like he's using canvases and how he's specifically kind of building this hub for himself. But there's a lot more that you can do. So for example, let me go down into my tiny clips over here where I have a bunch of different canvases that I have set up and installed. So if I click on this button, I can click on this repo actions hub. This is one that I built because I have a lot of actions. And specifically here, and kind of looks very similar, but I have the tiny clips. It has 9 workflows. I can go through and see I have build actions. I have ones for release, for the Windows build, for the submission here. So let's say I just wanted to take a look at this and the build one. I could say details. It's going to load this information. It's going to give me all the information about recent runs. I can take a look at one of these recent runs, see what actually happened. Okay, here's all the different steps that we're going through. That looks pretty good. Let's just go ahead and run this. This is actually going to trigger a workflow. So in this case, it doesn't actually declare a workflow dispatch. So that's good to know. So let's go down over to the Windows build, which I think does. So I'm going to run that one. And this is now going to fire off that Windows build. And then I can see the action being triggered right away and everything going through this. So I can actually take a look at it. And then we can see up top, it's been updated automatically. Now, if there's an issue, I'll be able to send that back automatically to it. All right, cool. So how did I build this, right? That's a good question. And so here, for example, if I go down, I can see that I have my actions repo canvas. And I actually did this with one specific prompt, which was the create canvas skill. And here I just asked it to show me all the actions for the repo I'm in, allowing me to see the status and the runs for the new ones. So I just added that and then it created it automatically just like that. So I can go and see down here that it just boom, did it, scanned everything, and it just installed it right away. So after that, I then took it and I put it up onto Awesome Copilot. So over here on Awesome Copilot, you can click on the extensions for canvases and you can get a bunch of them here. So there's ones for diagrams, gesture ones. There's this repo actions one. That's the one that I created. And there's also ones for like Tiny Tooltown Submitter and Pac-Man, for example. So let's take a look at the Tiny Tooltown Submitter. If I come over here into my captions converter, so that one that I was just building, I could actually come over and say new, and I'm going to say import canvas from GIST or URL. And I can decide if I want a user scope, project scope, or even session scope. So this one I'm going to say user scope because I'm going to submit a bunch of my tools to Scott Hanselman all the time. So I'm going to fire that off, and then that's going to install the Tiny Tooltown Submitter right here. And I can go ahead and open that up. So here I'm going to make this a little bit bigger again. And what's cool about this is that it takes a look and it says, yeah, Tiny Tooltown, it's found the README, it's found the license, it has an image, it can scan the repository, I can generate options for different subtitles about the tool. It'll give me information, so it's going to send that off to Copilot to kind of generate it based on the README. It's going to grab all the information. It even has this little page previewer here, so I can go ahead and pick one of those, for example. I can check the checkboxes for the requirements. And it even gives me this little finish curb appeal here. So for example, it's detected that there's not really documentation or usage. I can go ahead and start an improvement session, send that off. I can one click submit it directly to Tiny Tooltown, and it'll submit it all the way over to Scott to put it into tinytooltown.com. And here it is. Here are the different options here. So I can click on that, boom, good to go for these detailed information. And that's doing all this parsing just off of the actual README, which is really cool. So Tiny Tooltown, you can easily submit now as you're building these out, which is really, really neat. I'll point out here that they're not all about actually triaging. Here, for example, Token Pac-Man is one that munches on tokens as you're using your credits. Just kind of like a really fun thing to see. My other favorite one here is actually the Agent Arcade, which is from Dan, who actually has 5 different retro mini games that you can play inside of the Copilot app while you're cooking. Anyways, give all of these a try and try out canvases for yourself with Create Canvas.
All right, that's GitHub Copilot apps canvases. Have you tried them yet? It took me a while to really fully grasp the concept, but now I'm building new canvases almost every single week to evolve how I'm working in different projects. You got to give them a try and check out Awesome Copilot for some of the community ones, including ones that I've shipped myself. If you've built some awesome canvases, share what you are building below in the comments. I'd love to hear from you. That's going to do it for this one. So until next time, thanks for watching.